Hello, welcome to the 18th episode of Rachel Pilcher Writing Workshops. I'm Rachel Pilcher. Let's go ahead and get started. Tonight's topic is to write, you must read. And you'll notice I have a nice little stack of books over here. I know whenever I show them to you, you're not going to see the cover exactly, but you'll get kind of an idea of what it is that we're going to be talking about. So one of the things that I've always found interesting is whenever I've welcomed new writers into my writers critique groups, or I've talked to different writers or people who are interested in being writers, that I ask them what do they write, what do they read, and a lot of them can tell me what they write, but there are quite a few that for some reason or another don't read. And to really be a good writer, and I say good, because, there are wonderful writers, and there are good writers, and there are writers. But in order to even get to that good part of writing, you have to be a reader. You have to have a basis to see what good writing is, to be able to write well. So, in writing, what you need to do is, just in picking the types of reading that you're going to do, is you need to look at the genre that you're writing in. So that's number one, look at your genre. If you're writing a sci-fi, space opera type writing, then you'll want to read books that are similar to that. Not only to see if you are accidentally writing an idea that somebody else has, but also to look at how the world building is done, to look at the writing, to look at the word choice that's being used for that particular writer. So one of the things I've been doing, I had an idea for a young adult series that is actually set in the high school where I work, but it's set in 1917. So that was the year that the school was built. So one of my ideas was I was going to try to add some kind of like a mystery steampunk western that's set in the area, and the lead character is going to be this spunky girl that's going to go and save South Fort Worth pretty much. And so I started reading a couple of books, and one of them that I've been reading is a series by Gail Carriger that's the Finishing School series, and you can see it's from my library. So, but I am on book 3, just to kind of get ideas of how the book's written, how it's the word usage for young adults, because whenever you're writing for young adults, you're going to write differently than whenever you're writing for adults. A lot of adults read young adult, but there is a specific way that you need to write so that you're not putting bigger words in that the kids might not understand, but also so that you're not really talking down to them as well. So, so I've been doing that, and also, I've been reading for school. So, reading young adult books always helps. So I'm reading a book called Moxie. I'm about halfway through it, and this is not necessarily pleasure reading, but I'm enjoying the book. So it's not that I'm not enjoying it, but this is for another program that I'm doing with my school. So I'm still reading, and I'm getting ideas and getting words down that are similar to what I'm reading, but not exactly. So the other thing that you need to do is also to read articles and magazines and books about writing. So one of the magazines that I have is called Writer's Chronicle, and there are all kinds of great articles about writing. I do a lot of online reading of articles, so I get a lot of ebooks, newsletters, different things like that are from different writers. There's an old issue of Poets and Writers. So a lot of the email newsletters that I get are written by authors and giving hints on how they do their writing. So like I get email newsletters from Hope Clark, from Jane Friedman, which is a really good one because she does all different types of, she does style, she does promotion, she does different ideas that you can do to get word out about your writing. David Farland. He's a sci-fi writer. I actually took a session with him at the last conference that I went to. I went to a writers' conference in Midland, and he was a speaker there. And I've been getting some really great ideas of just what I need to do with my writing, even if it's not sci-fi writing, but it's about different types of writing. You can always apply something that you learn from a sci-fi book, or you can apply something that you've learned from a nonfiction book. So if it's a memoir, you can apply that writing style to your fiction book. You know, it's just all about how you do it. So I also read books about writing by writers. So one of my favorites, it was one of them that I read a couple of years ago. It's called If You Want to Write. And this was written in the 1940s. But just the narrative style I really enjoyed, and there's some really good quotes, just not necessarily quotes, but there are really good takeaways that you can get from this book. And of course, you know, one of the classics, Anne Lamott's Bird by Bird is always a good one. Still Writing by Dani Shapiro, that's a good one. It's always good to have, and of course, you know, it's kind of, this one's good for any artist. Big Magic. It's always good to see how creativity is done. So I like the tagline on this: creative living beyond fear. And that's one of my big things. It's, you know, it's a lot of people, whenever they're writing, they have a fear of writing, and it could be that they're afraid that they're not going to do it right. And one of the things about reading about writing that you'll learn is that the way you're doing it is probably the right way. So it's just getting the words down. That's the number one thing. But reading is getting to it. So then I have some random books. Selling and Writing Your Mystery Novel. I have a ton of different books that I use for writing, and some of them you don't have to buy all your books. You can always get them at the library. Here's one that I got from my school library. And I have Stephen King's On Writing that I got from my school library. So it's important, though, to read about how writers get their writing done, because it does give you an idea of what you need to be doing to get your craft where it needs to be. So if there are any questions, I would love to be able to answer anything for you. This one was a pretty quick one. I noticed the last one, I felt like I was running a marathon because I was talking so fast on the last episode. So I'm trying to slow it down considerably. I do suggest that you get on any writing newsletters that have to deal with writing, and subscribe to a few writing journals. So as I said earlier, Writer's Digest is always a good one to subscribe to. You can always get the email newsletters, and you always get some pretty great hints. I've even gotten some ideas on classes that I'm going to be teaching that I probably wouldn't have had the ideas to do had I not read it in a writing magazine. So definitely check that stuff out. I do have some a little bit of promotion that I'm going to be doing. So I've decided that I'm really tired of not teaching my live classes, and but I want to make it more accessible to everybody. So instead of going through Udemy as I was doing before and trying to prepare, you know, hours of slides and videos for you to be able to watch to take classes with me, I've decided that I'm going to use Zoom. It's ZOOM. And if you're going to go sign up for it so that you can have access to the classes, it's ZOOM.us. And I am going to have my first live workshop, live on internet, on Saturday, January the 19th, 2019. I am still working on finalizing everything for it, but I hope that you are able to join me on that. It's called Write Fearlessly in the New Year. It's kind of a twist on my classic Write Fearlessly workshop that I've taught in the past. And I kind of work through journaling with you on what your fears are that are keeping you from being able to do your art. So I hope that you're save the date, and it's probably going to be 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, but I will have more information. Everything's going to be completely solidly decided by the next time that I meet here. So our next episode, episode 18, is going to be on Sunday, December the 16th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the topic is going to be why you should attend conferences, retreats, or write-ins. So I hope you join me here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening. Happy December. It's the holidays. Have a good evening. Bye.